Let's watch Jeff draw. Man, Jeff, the way you draw would work so well with that pixel camera thing that I do.
What thing?
I like things that look pixely. Nice.
That one and
Nice. I guess my first question would be, do we want to talk about fun game stuff or fixing netcode stuff?
I don't even know what the underlying issue is, honestly. The netcode stuff could be
So
a
does
million things.
Did you say
It doesn't slow down on the with the other one for at least when I tried for 10 minutes. It seemed to slow down only for when I was using 500 people.
so it only depends on the amount of...
Well, I would like I'd say yes, that's definitely it, except for the fact that it slowed down over time, it didn't slow down immediately. It wasn't slow immediately, which tells me something is accumulating over time, either to create a memory issue or there's some issue with or some sort of infinite loop eventually that can happen with netcode, something like that. I don't know what it is yet, but I haven't been focusing on that. I tested it, like I said, with 4 clients running 100 NPCs for 10 minutes, and I didn't have the slowdown at all.
Is there a way you can actually test the slowdown, or my worry would be that the test...
I'd have to do 500 again, probably, would activate the slowdown.
Like, my worry would be that the slowdown is there, but...
That's the thing, that's what I was saying. It's possible that it's there, and it's not... and it doesn't show itself unless you have a lot of NPCs on the screen. The point being is that I'm not super worried about it, because if we're just trying to, it's something we can find later. If we're trying to prototype, we can prototype 100 NPCs at 10 minutes for 10 minutes, no issue. Also, since I was saying that since I had found the issue, I realized that I was looking for possible causes and found in the Game Maker manual, it pretty much says, hey, don't fucking use instance variables if you can. And an instance variable would be like, if I'm in another object and I'm trying to reference a list that is created and stored in object con server, then that's actually the longest possible reference you can make. So instead, I have changed it for all my netcode. I changed it to copy those variables locally. So as soon as object con server makes that list, I just copy the reference for the list and store it in the local object, and then call everything locally. And supposedly someone did some testing, and that's supposed to increase performance on those calls by 30%. So that could be some part of it, but it's obviously not the source of it, because that wouldn't create a issue with performance over time.
I mean, the way to test if the line thing was responsible for it would just be to turn it off.
Yeah, it would be. At that point, I wasn't so worried about it.
We don't have to talk about that nuts
really
and
care.
bolts stuff anyway. Let's talk about fun.
I'm trying to fix something else right now, though. So if you guys want to talk about other stuff, I almost have the bus working. I want to
show it.
I've been working on it for the last half hour. I want to get it.
So
working.
is it at a point where we could all log in and walk around and see the bus thing happen?
No, the bus isn't synced yet on network. I'm just trying to get right now the bus to load things and drop them off.
Okay.
But I only started working on the bus 45 minutes ago, and then I finished my train of thought before at least get the bus to, you will see the NPCs suddenly move and leave the screen, but you won't know why, because the bus. All that I would need to do to make that work is sync the bus sprite. But let me get this stuff working first, and then I will chime back in. But for now, I'm gonna turn you guys down so I can focus.
So in the meantime, let me get you guys on the Git.
Well, to get
Yeah, get me on the Git.
Alright, so I'm watching Jeff anyway. Are you sharing? Am I watching your screen, Jeff, or just your A sprite?
just a sprite.
Share your screen.
I wouldn't show you my screen. Hold on. Alright.
We solve this puzzle. Pick the spiral galaxy. What if I didn't know what a spiral galaxy was?
You could figure it out. I did it. I knew what one was, but...
Yo, I sent them invites.
I got it. I got it through the email.
Okay, yeah, so...
I'm accepting your invitation.
Alright, once you do that, you should go back and you should see...
GitHub Heartland has invited me to this thingy.
How do we, like, use it, though?
So basically, you put something, you know, when you guys have I think I guess we could start talking about level design, what kind of first level we want to do.
Well, I can tell you, there should probably be a road at the bottom of it, because I'm drawing about a lot of road stuff. Marcus is designing a bus.
Here, let me...
Bus.
At the very bottom, it's not like the sky. So picture that, but not as tall, and like picture where the bird's wing comes up is like where the street is, right? And there's like a 1 or 2 story building with like a little roof party thing going on at the top and a couple rooms below, maybe one at the top. So like picture that on one side of the map, and then like a skinny building on the left side with just like a, you know, one room per level or 2 rooms per level going up just a little taller than that, and then like some empty space in between with like people on the streets.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And some sort of way to sneakily get from the top of one building to another, like a you know, like a advertisement sign thing that you could like hide behind.
We shouldn't like balance it like the other way. If like you do an attack and you don't hit anything, like you miscalculated or whatever, and then you're basically fucked because everyone knows where you are. Like it's okay if that's basically the point where that match is over for you.
How do you re-hide yourself? Oh, is this Marcus's test? This is going quite slow, this version. What do you picture as the input device for this game?
Controller.
Same here, okay.
Yeah, I would use a controller, but could easily work on a keyboard.
Alright, I'm back. I got it working, but I realized I'm gonna need to figure out a way to reset their behaviors.
Marcus, is the version that I just pulled from the Git like the slowdown version, or did you just change the walk speed to be incredibly slow?
The walk speed is 0.5.
I hate it.
Well, you can add in a sprint button, but that's the way like it looks. If you're looking at a.
So here's my question. We were just talking about.
If you're walking through a street, it looks more the most natural that way. You can adjust that though on the fly.
Here's what I was gonna say is we like everyone else pictures this as a controller game, right? Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you think you use the D-pad at all, or
the D-pad could be used for movement? I see the movement being analog, and then you have a sprint button.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I mean, yeah, the movement's not going to be the primary thing about the game, so
No,
it could be
So they got the Git, Marcus.
Oh, we got the Git.
They got the Git. They gitted it, and they really got the Git now.
We need is there a cure for Git?
Unknown to man. It's terminal.
So, I think it's fine, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but now that they're on the same, they have the same repository, right? All we'd need to do is either they could put their drawings in the data files folder, because I'm pretty sure that doesn't affect hardly anything in GameMaker, or we could
I
make
think that's where you just drop external resources that you need.
So yeah, so we can put those in there.
Chris, I also set it up now so that both of us can work on AI at the same time. Basically, each level will have its own AI controller, and all you need to do, the only thing that will overlap that we will be editing will be the thing that controls how many NPCs on your levels are created. At which point, overlap that, who cares, as long as you don't mess with my variables. I can just reset those in a second. And I made you a template for what the AI could look like, but you can do it however you want, however it makes most sense to you.
And the thing I'm probably going to work on next, although I do want to work on AI eventually, but the thing so where's the netcode?
You want to fix the drawing stuff, because I can't fucking figure out why I have a layer on the top, that the bus is in the top layer, and it doesn't fucking draw in front of everything.
Are you changing the depth of anything else?
No. I mean, I changed the depth of all the sprites in the very beginning.
Don't change the depth, and that should fix it.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be, then the bus is gonna need to be considered in that overall fix, because if we don't change the depth, then the depth will all those guys will walk weird.
Also,
right?
just FYI, analog movement is already in, so I can walk incredibly slow with this 0.5 walk speed if I'm using an analog stick.
Wait, hold on. Analog. By analog movement, I thought analog was one or the other, not.
Digital is
one of the other.
Digital is one of the. Sorry, I was stupid. Digital movement is what I see. I don't see it being analog.
I see it being
For some
analog
reason.
with a run button.
You know what I was doing? I was completing like analog being old.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they say in the music industry.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah. I don't see this thing being analog, actually. I see it being one or the other, and then you have a sprint button.
So
But I
that's
don't
I think it's important to be able to modulate your speed for several reasons. Go ahead, Joe.
Unless we're gonna make the NPCs
I
have
think
multiple
it would be better if you could only go one speed, or two speeds rather, because then it's easier for you to blend in.
Yes.
And
No,
I think Marcus was going to say that you don't have to program NPCs moving at different speeds.
Yes.
I mean, I made a. That's why I set up the controller in the beginning, so it'd be very easy to do that. But like
I don't use
control
on the NPC because I don't want any code running in them.
I think so. Being able to, I think it's fine if you. I think you're holding the stick all the way to the left or right should should put you at your top speed, not perfectly immediately, but almost immediately. There should be some acceleration there. However, in a game that's going to be all about little tells, if you can move perfectly like the NPCs at all times, I don't think that's good. I think that it should be analog for that reason.
I think that we're not gonna know really until we actually see how this game comes together. This is like, for balance, all sorts of reasons. Just we could, go back and forth on a lot of this stuff. Like I would not say anything definitively, until we, have a couple play tests.
Yeah.
And I do think that I would. Well, also I just do think that NPCs should throttle their speed too, right? Like they shouldn't. If a bunch are walking left, they should either be walking at different speeds or like
Well, the problem is solved, right? If all NPCs just walk at different speeds in general.
Yeah, we could. I mean, we could
Right.
do that. Part of the problem with that though is that you completely take away the keyboard as a reasonable.
No,
easy to
you don't.
use.
I mean, like the only actually it's
That's entirely true, and I think
no. If anything, a
Yeah,
keyboard
that
is
solved
better,
it.
right? A keyboard is better because
you can't do digital movement when you're on a keyboard, so you can't give like half part of the player base.
oh, I see what you're saying. Like
option. And not only that, yeah.
but either way,
That has to be the we can't go digital or
analog. Yeah.
I think it's fine to require to make a game around having
Yeah.
a controller. Like Meat Boy got made around having a controller, and it
Yeah,
would have
but if
been
we-
worse if it
that's-
compromised to.
If you want people the most amount of people to be able to play it, then
Well, that's not. Yeah, I mean, I guess
I don't think that's really.
we should make the best
Yeah.
game.
how about we
and
do both?
not
How about we do
much.
both and make a fucking toggle in the options?
Well, like we'd have to design around it either way, right? Whichever one we choose. I
For
don't.
now,
Right,
I'm
yeah,
not
I
worried
think
about
both
that
are
anyway.
analog right now, just because it's easier to program.
That's super easy to do. Regardless, I can change it. I can make it I would just have to make it at random.
Wait, do you mean analog or digital, Dave?
Make it analog right now, just because it's easy to program AI wise, right? There is only one speed, and balance wise.
Analog is easier. Is easier. Actually, now that I think about it, well, yeah, it would be slightly annoying because I'd have to make a parallel list of speeds that I'd go through at the same time, which would slow it down a little bit.
No,
Not
aren't you
significantly.
doing like a task system eventually, where they're like, okay, this guy's gonna do this now and that? Can't you just put the speed as a thing for that
No,
part
the
of
system works where the way it works right now is it's I create a array of all the NPCs or a DS list of all the NPCs, and then I have a list of behaviors, and those behaviors that logic behind them is designed in such a way that everyone has a task. Like the logic isn't like if you are walking left, you're doing it with a purpose. You either you've been programmed to walk left off the screen because you're on your way to some other building, like off screen, or you've been programmed to go to the bus stop, or you've been programmed to go somewhere else. You have a purpose from the start of the behavior assignment, and then all the downstream behaviors from there make sense with your original purpose. That's how I'm programming it, because that's the easiest way to do it. Light load for a large number of NPCs is to store all in logic, because I don't want to be creating a lot of data structures with all this information that needs to be stored, because we are already creating a large number of NPCs. So if I just make it executable code that doesn't have to run a lot, then it's easy, it's lighter weight
So
on the
yeah,
server.
my real question is, will they ever switch their task?
Yeah, they'll switch. So the way it works now, for the most part, is the way I see it is, people pretty much only really change their task when they're off screen, but their task can have several downstream options. Or like, if you're on the street level, which is what I'm programming now, you can either be walking left, you can be walking right, you can start idle, which sort of makes you open to anything, or you can go to the bus stop. I have some other ones potentially ready, but I'm still working on the bus stop right now. I'll have a meet one where people just meet each other and then go to a different location, or stuff like that. But for now, those are the only ones that are in. And if you're walking left or walking right and that's your assigned task, then you're just going to do that off screen so that we get just the basic foot traffic feel. And I don't want anyone just changing that. I don't want this thing where people are walking left and then all of a sudden they just turn around for no reason. It doesn't make sense. Then if you're off screen, you have the possibility you're set idle, and if you're idle, you have the possibility to pick up any behavior. And if you pick up the bus stop behavior, then you're gonna start headed towards the bus stop. And then once you get close enough to the bus stop actually takes over your behavior and handles you from there.
This bus stop sounds so manly.
This sounds like a fun bus stop. Sounds like
So the bus stop has a
Sounds like
puts you
they're
in line,
down.
and then
The
tells you what
Vapos.
your position needs to be and stuff like that, and adjusts the line and all that other stuff. So the idea being, if your behavior was okay, go to the building, then I would just I'll make the portal or the teleporter or whatever it is that handles the building, like that lets the player go up and down between levels. I'll make that a controller too.
Let's go
So
back to
someone
this
will go
bus stop
to
for a
that
second, though.
and then go upstairs, and then it'll be handled by the next level's AI controller.
Let's
It'll.
just real quick.
I'll
I'll
send it in. You're
bus
really
stop-
quiet right now, Chris. I can't hear you.
Hello?
Hello.
Is he quiet to everybody else too?
No, I hear him.
Oh, why is everybody got quiet to me?
Did you sit on your headphones?
Nope. My headphones are wireless.
Again.
Back to this bus
anyway.
stop thing. The point is,
Point being is I'd hand him off to your AI controller, and then I'd say, hey, here was his behavior or whatever. He got potentially. I was thinking I'd pass him off and say, this is the behavior he previously had, and then you would be able to take that and be like, okay, so here's what he'll do now, kind of thing, based on his a lot of my behavior stuff. Looks at the old behavior and then it limits what it can do next based on that.
so what you could do then, if you want the NPCs to move at general speed, at different speeds easily, is you just set a very slight modifier for the speed at which they run
Problem
through.
is I'd be setting, so the way I move people is literally every step I see what you're doing, and if the behavior tells you to move, I move it at that speed. I move your sprite at that speed. That's what I have. One thing looping through all the objects, looping through their behaviors, and saying, okay, this person's behavior is walk left, then I'm gonna move them left one thing, one movement tick, and that's what handles the movement. So I would have to create a parallel array or list that says, okay, this person's walk left. Let me look up their move speed, and then we're moving them left. That's how you
don't you
do it.
increment their, don't you move them left by their
I don't use anything. I didn't want any code in the NPCs. I don't want them running anything because there's 100 of them.
in the create event though, you couldn't set their,
But something would have to be looking for that in the step.
whatever you move their X by, right?
You would have to be looking for it in the step. You can set whatever you want in the create, but if the step isn't watching it, then it's not going to move. So instead, I just say, because I gotta check its behavior anyway, I move it at the same time that I check its behavior. It's just a switch that just says, okay, your behavior is move left. I'm gonna move you left. Next person.
So
And then when I reset behaviors,
there's I still
there's
don't
no
really
code at
understand.
all in NPC.
That's fine, but they and you don't want to hold any variables on the object.
You could, but and I'm glad I didn't, because like I just found out, doing instance calls is extremely taxing. Is the slowest way, slower than referencing global variables. So calling references to variables stored in objects that are not yourself is
So-
the slowest way to access a piece of information.
So that's what I was gonna say. So can you just put it on the I mean, I don't know. Maybe this isn't important to everyone, but to me, I think they should be moving at different.
We could do that. The way I would do that is I would create a parallel list that is the same size as the list.
In the same thing,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, exactly. In the
okay,
same
so
thing, and
that's what I
then
was
just
gonna say,
store
too.
the speed in there.
Okay.
It could be done. It just takes a little bit more memory, and the lookup should be relatively quick because it'll be an index thing, and I'll already have the index because I'll be sorting through it anyway. We could do it. It's just it's slightly more taxing. Not much more, but slightly.
As long as we can run
we're trying
like
to pay
50
attention to all these
NPCs, like as long as there's no problems up to 50 NPCs, I think we're good.
Yeah, I mean, this thing by itself, without the network code running, this thing could was handling 5,000 NPCs.
What happens?
Well,
What is that? So the game isn't slowing. I've been running the game just to see if there's any slowdown.
It only slowed down with the network. And the version that you have is not is maybe only 100 NPCs.
Yeah.
It
That's
did
why
not slow
I'm not
down
trying to test the
without
500 one. I was just gonna see if a slowdown occurred with the regular one after like 20 minutes. I've been running it for like, I don't know how long I've been streaming. Probably about 20 minutes now. So like
it only I tested it when I was testing it before. It only slowed down when it was networked. It did not slow down at all when it was not networked.
but what's going on with the people in line here? They're freaking out.
Where are you?
Here, let me
Emerging.
The line. I mean, the line might be getting super long, which I haven't accounted for.
It looks like what's happening is people are people are moving back and forth very rapidly. At first, it looked like maybe they were two people are standing in the same spot, but it looks like maybe
I don't know. I've never seen that happen before, but it looks like almost everybody's in the line right now. Why is yours going? Oh, you adjusted something. That's why.
I adjusted
That's why
the
you
walk
adjusted
speed.
it. You adjusted the You adjusted the walk speed so it can never find its spot. It's always overshooting its spot. So you'd have to just tune it to the walk speed probably. You know what I mean?
So is that going to be an issue with this? I don't know.
No, it probably just means I need to change that variable, the one that says set your position, to be a function of walk speed.
Or you just set it so that they don't have a specific position. They stop when they're in a range, and then they can.
No, I thought about that, and I didn't. Well, you could, yeah. I had thought about that, but
I have a real nice
mean-
script in here called approach, which will make it. Which, if you put it in any movement script, will make it so that it just figures out the difference between where it needs to be and the amount that it's moving and moves it there. So if you use,
I don't need the distance. Because remember they're running through a behavior script that's going to be adjusting their behavior all the time, and I don't want to be running any code in them. So I'm just going to. I don't need to know the distance. I just need to know when they get there.
you don't need to put it in them. You would just put it on whatever moves them.
We could probably even solve this also with a lerp. Once you get into the range, lerp yourself to the thing.
The problem with lerping at really small
I know it
distances
goes super slow.
is,
But
yeah,
I could do it at a better increment. Even if you do it really slow, it wouldn't matter because the way I plan for this to work with the player is the player will just have a prompt when they are close enough to the end of the line, and then when they hit A, the way I see it working is the bus app will take them over just like it takes everything else over.
So the bus isn't in, but if I hosted right now, would all these players be synced on everyone's machine? Would all these NPCs?
If you hosted, all the NPCs would be synced, yeah.
Cool. Let's try that. I want to try that.
You have to adjust the IP.
Oh yes. Okay. What is the name of the thing that controls all the? Also, do you remember what object I have my fucking code in for the changing the IP address?
Yeah. If I believe, I remember. It's not in the button. I know that. I had to find it. I mean, if you want everyone else, you're just gonna compile it and send it to everybody, probably.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have a newer version that you want to change, that you want to fix the IP
No,
on.
go ahead. The bus stuff isn't ready yet. I need to. I know what I'm gonna do, but I need to implement it. It's very close. The bus goes there, picks up the people, and then drives them off screen. Now I need to tell it to release them, essentially, and put them back into the regular behavior list. Which I was a little bit worried because it's gonna be slow because I'm gonna have to find each one in the list because I realized I wasn't storing their index with them. But that one.
So who wants to draw me some characters to also to do the
Dave drew one.
Dave
So the
drew.
way I think we should do it to save time for testing purposes, I made a walking sprite for the Marcus sprite, and I'm just gonna desaturate it, and we could give it a color randomly
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Doesn't Marcus Sprite have a dog in it though?
The Zero is entirely different, and I want to animate him, and I'm excited because I've never animated a dog before, and they have weird legs, so it's probably hard.
I will send you plenty of videos if you like Zero running. I have a great video of him jumping if you want it.
But yeah, have you not seen the Marcus sprite?
I've seen the Marcus sprite.
I've seen the
It
Marcus
walks.
sprite.
It walks now. So
I saw the
oh,
walking.
I'm doing a
but I thought
crouch, and I'll do a crawl, and then I'll do like a swipe attack animation thing, and then
here's the other thing for the stuff
You'll
you're
have what you
doing
need
too,
for
Jeff,
the
is that
actual gameplay.
like because they're never going to be starting from the perfect right position, right? Like I may have to take chunks of what your animation is and make them into sprites, you know what I mean?
I'm just screwing around now anyway.
I really like the way it looks though. Here, let me. Alright, I've exported the thing. I will put it in the. Shit. Is yours the one. Does our project name have underscores or not? I can't remember.
Here you go. There's a beautiful video of my dog jumping. Looks
That will probably just
very
be,
natural.
like a reference with pictures.
This is
What?
This is not the reference that you would actually need.
Honestly, this will be one of the later things I work on. Like you can work on it for now, and I'll work on the just the basic like movement, elevators. You know, if Dave doesn't want to do getting the sprites in, I'll do getting the sprites in. The hitboxes is probably the big so I want to warm up with some movement stuff, just getting that to feel a little something like I do. You know, this is a game about hiding, but I do want to hear my real dumb idea, and I know everyone's gonna say no, but whatever. It's an awesome idea. So originally I was like, no squash and stretch in this game, right? But what if when you're in the background you can hold the right stick to like make yourself skinny, and then you can hold it down to like smush down behind things.
There's a version of that game that could be fun.
Like
I pictured this one. This game would be completely changed by that.
I don't think so.
But,
like the only thing that would be changed is
maybe
aesthetically
there
now
can be
you're like an
a class
alien.
that does that.
What's that?
What if we make a class that can do that?
Yeah, like alien class, and he's like a goo guy, and he just like becomes goo sometimes.
On occasion.
I actually thought of a way you could do like a really elaborate thing where you could actually like make yourself into the shape of a lamp by like holding in the stick to like squeeze in your bottom part, and then like, you know, like releasing it to squeeze out the top part, so you could like. And what I would do is you'd have to make this work, you'd have to change the sprite so that the origin was wherever you wanted to change the width or height of the sprite to make it squish and stretch. So it'd be very complicated, but there's actually like a cool mechanic there, I think, where like you could literally you know, make a game about distorting a sprite. But honestly, if we don't use some version of that in this game, I can't see any other game where it's like, I can't see it ever being used in anything else. Alright, the server's up.
Where'd it go?
You probably still, unless Marcus changed it, have the chance of getting stuck in geometry.
Wait, what just happened? Oh shit. You have to remake it, Chris. I bypassed the It's set to run straight into host mode.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I went right in.
Okay, so how do I Oh, you just changed the room order.
Probably without even noticing it. I was messing around with some other stuff before. No, it shouldn't be. It's because
No, it wouldn't run if it just did it that way, right? Because it needs to. Or no, I guess it would.
What are you looking at? This room's order doesn't even look like mine.
I was watching that video of Zero, Marcus.
my when I hit play on my thing, it also has the This is something that does not get linked. That's not shared with our thing. Yeah. See, you don't have. Go down there, Chris. Go to
Down.
rooms. Hover over client server and hit that the thing to the left of it. Client or server.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hit that thing to the left of it. And then drag client or server up to the top. Oh, why is you have nothing in there? I don't know what's going on with your room manager.
I don't know, but I pulled this from the Git, so I don't know if it's maybe not the right version.
Is there not a thing that says room order, a tab? I can't.
There
see
is,
this
but
thing.
it's still empty.
It seems like the room manager is supposed to automatically recognize the rooms, and it's just not working. Like there's a bug. You should fetch origin and then pull.
Okay, I just pulled. Maybe that's why.
Well, no, because it probably automatically fetches the origin for you. It does that occasionally on its own, just to tell you that there's a difference. So you probably still do have the most recent version. My guess is that it's something to do with the layout file or something, which is why it's not loading in properly. I bet you, Chris, you could solve it by literally deleting the project folder and repulling the whole thing. That's
Okay.
what I'm trying to test with Dave. So Dave,
What
go
is
to
Alright,
is
I
it
gotta
the
go to
documents.
bed.
That's okay.
I'll catch
Documents?
you guys later.
I'll see you later. GameMaker uninstalled and then fucking crashed on reinstall. So
Uninstalled.
I was updating it and it uninstalled. Fine.
When you update it, it usually doesn't need to uninstall. It just updates the files.
Yours goes through Steam though. Mine does.
Oh.
So here's a question: if I make elevators, how should I? This normally would not be a question I would ever ask, but because of the nature of this game and the network stuff, how would you recommend, Marcus, with what you've done? Well, actually, I guess this was the hitbox stuff hasn't been done yet, but basically, what do you think I should do? Should I move the player off screen for a moment, like instantly
Oh,
teleport?
I think the elevators should be movable rooms.
The elevators are like the way I see elevators working are they're like the bus stop object.
So they're movable
get-
rooms that you can move. Wait, sorry. Go ahead, Marcus.
Heck,
Wait,
that-
oh, you want the elevator to be its own room, Dave?
yeah,
where
I
you
think
can
that would be
kill and
cool.
attack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you don't mean
that.
you don't
could
mean game
definitely
maker
totally do
style
that.
room. What you mean
Like
is
an object that moves up and down a room.
And you know what? That would be
room
super
network
easy
column.
because you can't control your Y. Like all you control is your X.
so the whole
that'd
reason
be
I asked
super
this
easy.
question is because then what I'll need to put on the hitbox, and I've considered this for other games too. The other game I'm working on too, is like we obviously don't want anyone who's in front of the elevator, with a wall between them and the elevator, killing someone who's in the elevator with their slash. So on the hitbox, there will have to be an extra layer variable, like that tells you the depth.
What layer you're like? Yeah,
of
where
the-
you're at.
Well, couldn't you just say like, if there's like a wall or some sort of obstruction between the two of you, you can't kill this person, but you will still swing.
Yes, you will still swing, but I mean, there's
The-
no.
Chris is saying if you're not on the elevator, I could literally be on the same X and Y as you, but technically you're one depth behind. You're one zone. You're in a different zone than me, so I shouldn't be able to hit you. I should have to walk into the elevator. Where at that point maybe we scale down the sprite. Maybe put a little darkened hue over it, or something like that.
Wait,
Something like that. It is.
Yeah,
It's a little weird.
So
yeah.
what I'm saying is, like, if you get into the elevator, so say we're.
You know what we could do? The elevator could just be not in the background and
So,
be a whole left side of the screen.
I need to draw it in my screen.
I'm watching.
Okay, so let's say this column here. Oh, let me make this bigger.
Now I should switch over to Dave. I'm watching Dave through Chris's stream, which is an extra amount of delay.
Oh, that's not the right button.
Let me discard these changes and fetch from origin again, right? Is what I want to do. Discard all changes, fetch origin.
Yeah, I was gonna recommend. Well, I guess yeah, you can try that first, and if that doesn't work, just delete the whole fucking project and pull from origin again.
All right.
Oh, I think I see how Dave's gonna say this is. So it's not behind
this
anything.
column
Yes, okay, I
is-
see what you're saying.
Is the elevator where the elevator lives, right? So here's the elevator box that people get into, they step into, and then this just goes up and down, stopping at each floor.
What we're talking about is more like, what if that was in the middle of the
So there's so that's how I imagine the stairwell working, like stairs
Either way, if there's
or
any
something, yeah. But
if there's
basically,
anything-
hold on.
if there's
Yeah.
anything where you would need to go behind the stage, essentially, you know how we talked about if we how to make like a MMO or
Oh,
something.
two people are in the elevator, and that's not on screen. Is that what you're saying?
So like, imagine the elevator shaft is not as you're drawing it, but imagine it's just a door.
Yeah.
A door on one of these floors in the middle, and another door on like 2 floors up from that. And then when you get in it, just like in the vents, right? A wall disappears from your point of view, but other people would just see you disappear into the elevator, and then it would move you slowly up, and then you would get out on the top floor. And the issue with that is if you're like if the draw an exit on the 3rd floor. And so now you move your little mouse as if from the bottom you're moving up or whatever. It's very slowly. So like, yeah, say a guy's standing right where you made that stray mark and he's in front of the elevator, but you are in the elevator behind the wall and he swings. That shouldn't kill you, right? So I'm gonna
Just make it that like if you're in the elevator, you can't be killed by people outside.
But what if someone's in the elevator with you and you need to be
Well,
killed
also,
by them?
I don't not love the idea of like,
There being a behind layer.
yeah, like going into another room,
I'm fine with it, but if you want to keep the purity of it, you can see everything at all times except for the vents.
Well, the vents, I assume you'd be in them, but you wouldn't even see yourself. You'd see like the vents moving as you like shifting as you walk, like dropping a pixel.
I
or
get
something.
the I get the I want everything to be on. There shouldn't be multiple layers thing. That's fine. But I do think in the vents, I do think there should be areas where you're standing behind, like, where you're behind something and you can see into it, but other people can't. Like, or even something where like there's a small room and the door and you can shut the doors and then it blocks that out to everyone. And maybe NPCs would even do that from time to time. But I don't care. It is your idea. It is your.
Well, I don't know. No, I mean, I think it's best to go with what everyone thinks is best. I put it to vote, but
I don't know.
I'm not precious with it, but I do want to keep the purity of having all information is always on screen. You always have a chance to give yourself up or catch someone. Whereas if you're behind a closed door, which is another zone, like, what's the point? Or you can't. There's no way you'd be able to perceive.
It's not
what's
another
going on
zone,
there,
right? It's just like it would just be like in the newer Mario. I guess you haven't played the newer Mario.
Well, that's what the actual game is, right? So that you don't need to see everything that's behind the vending machine when you're behind the vending machine. You just play from that obstructed view.
I just think it would be an interesting thing if like there were small rooms or small areas like vents or like bathrooms that could be completely obscured from everyone's view except for those people behind it, so that people would get suspicious that somebody was hiding in there. I think that would be neat. Let me see if this room motor thing is fixed.
I'm not paying attention. What's going on? Sorry.
Alright, the room motor
My
thing
bus
is
to work
fixed
again.
with updating game. I don't know what fixed it. I should have done one at a time. But
Did you redo the project too, or did you
I
just
uploaded. I did both. I uploaded a new. I updated Game Maker and I. All right, so now I need to change the room order so that. What is the name of the one that I want there? Client or server? That is the top. I thought you said you did this, didn't you? Didn't you say you changed the room order so you're going straight in?
No, I thought I might have. But I was mistaken. That's why that was my original thought, that maybe I fucked it up for you.
Alright, hold on. Let me do this.
Alright, it's mostly working. I need to set something. The first bus stop works perfectly. The
Share your
second
screen
one
now
was a
and
flyby bus stop.
Wait,
Where
wait,
just
before you
jump
fix
in.
before you fix whatever's doing it, like just share your screen.
I haven't committed anything yet.
I'm just saying, show me your bug so that it's caught on my stream forever and we can enjoy the funny bug.
No, it's not super crazy. It's just it's the first time the bus stop works perfectly.
Get ready to laugh, everybody, or else Marcus
Or
will
else.
personally refund you money.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't think
like
anyone
that
else
idea.
thinks it's funny. I just
Yeah,
think
that should be definitely someone's
somebody once said it,
tagline. Get ready to laugh or else.
so like there's a
Isn't that the Joker movie, basically?
there's a guy who was like did a video on like what is comedy in games, why do games that try comedy flop so hard, and he basically
Timing.
made the point that like writing comedy in games is very hard because the player has choice, and the real comedy in games comes from, you know, surprising mechanics. That's like the unique way games can use.
So we gotta fix this draw thing. It stops. This guy's gonna get on right before it leaves. Just literally the second. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I must have changed something to change the seed. Huh. I don't know what I changed.
That was not funny, Marcus. Give me my money back. So, but he was making the point that like when something goes wrong in a game, it's funny, and there's whole games built around that, and it just that is just what having a bug in a game like it makes me laugh in a way when you do something. Oh, this is what he said. Like in the game Infinifactory, he was like trying to make a perfect machine, and it worked good for the first few iterations, but then starts spitting out the craziest shit ever. And he's like, it made me laugh in a way that like nothing else made me laugh. You know, like it's a totally unique feeling to like.
Real life can do that, though. Like,
Yeah. Yes. But other forms of media, two other forms of media, like that is the unique way games can capitalize on humor.
I'm just gonna do this because I'm too lazy to figure out how to troubleshoot it. I know it's one of those two. This is probably not the most optimized way to do this either, but I don't care right now.
Alright, in a moment I will export it and we can all try the game.
Come on, someone get in line. There's someone going. Someone's walking over. I don't know which one it is, though.
So I think if you don't ever set their depth when you're setting their Y in the beginning, Marcus. So are you doing the draw from a list thing now or no?
No, I figured if you wanted to, you could
Yeah, I can
change
do
that.
that. So but you can test it with this. So change their depth, or don't
Change their depth.
don't change their
and
depth.
they'll draw ahead. Yeah, I think you're right, because I'm drawing ahead of everything else. It's just not them. So they must get their own instance layer that just gets plopped above
It's
the
when
one.
you change things depths, it does it in a way that's weirdly relative.
I think it
to...
makes their own little instance layer. All right, here we go. Let's see if it works. Oh, everyone's getting on. Everyone's getting on the bus. It won't look so weird when they're not fucking.
Or maybe it's like, remember that you were saying that they set everything apart by thousandths thing. So when the changing the depth works is when you create an instance from another instance, and I think it's only meant to, like, set the distance relative to that thing that's making it.
Yeah,
Is the way
it's weird though because it's clearly setting them above, unless I'm putting them on the wrong layer, which is definitely a possibility. All right, the bus works, by the way.
Here,
As far as I can tell. I'll keep doing this to make sure.
I like
let
the
this
bus a
run
lot.
for little
Is
while.
that Dave's bus or your bus?
My bus?
It's a pretty good bus for
Thank you.
programmer art. Let me.
I'm gonna let this run to make sure I'm not losing NPCs. Essentially,
What layer's the bus on?
the bus is on the top layer, whatever the
Spawn
fuck. But you don't have the
locations?
bus yet. I don't think I put that in yours yet. I haven't committed since I started working on the bus. You might have like the start to the bus, the wheels.
The bus isn't
for that.
synced anyway, though, so there's no reason to
Around.
export anything else, right? Like, it's not a synced.
No, it's not synced. You will see the NPCs magically start to float away.
Alright, well, the file's done. Let me put it in there and we can. No mic lately, huh?
I think he's been really busy with work. We saw him the other day.
Yesterday. I played him last night. You weren't here, Chris.
No Chris, huh?
This works pretty well. I hope I'm not losing NPCs. I can't tell. I start with so many. Maybe I'll just start with one and wait for him to get on the bus and see if he comes back. It's over here.
Alright, I'm hosting whenever you guys want to join.
How
Did you put a new version?
Yes, there should be a new version.
Hold on, let me start. I want to start my test thing so that I don't have to redo it.
Dave, fucking stop Marcus with this madness. This walk speed is madness.
We said it was a slow game.
This is a slow game, not this slow though. This should be like the slowest you can walk.
I mean, the sprite animation also will dictate how fast it feels good, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe mine will be faster.
It is slow. I'll admit it's slow.
But you'll get nothing else out of me.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna let that guy do his thing until he gets on the bus. What am I doing?
Here's another thing. How are you? How is the player collision working right now? Like it's.
The player can do whatever the fuck he wants right now.
But I mean the way I had it coded with when he should be colliding with. Oh, you changed the hitbox to be like weirdly.
Yeah, I just changed it. Not weird. Well, I just changed it to be in the middle again. I think.
I'm in.
Oh no, I didn't. It's still on the bottom. I just
Like his
moved
legs
the
are not
bottom
encompassed by
up,
the
yeah.
his hitbox. I think.
Yeah,
is-
yeah, exactly. Show and fold.
Stuck in the wall. You see me stuck in the wall?
Yeah, I do see you in the top left.
No,
So-
I'm on the bottom.
What?
One up from the bottom.
I
Oh,
don't.
to me, you're on the top left.
Wait, where are you?
To
I
Dave, or
don't,
to Chris, rather.
I don't
I'm
see
looking at
you.
Chris's.
Hold on, let me make this a little smaller so I can see everybody.
Everyone jump. Someone's on top of me right now.
Oh, you know what, Chris? You know why? Because he can't move and place himself.
Oh, I see you. I see you. Yeah, you're up there in the top left corner.
No, I'm not. That's not where I am on my screen. though.
No, it's because the way Chris's script works is you have to move in order to.
So, Dave, just close out and rejoin. I think you get a random position when you join.
Okay.
There you go.
I appear to be here and moving.
Dave's.
I'm seeing Marcus on the top right. His head's in the wall.
Yeah, I'm clipped onto the wall.
So here's a question, Marcus. Is there anything like
He's behind the wall to me, and on Chris's screen, he's in front of the wall.
when I actually do the collision like for real and movement for real, like is there any reason that that with the NPCs or anything like that the hitboxes need to be legless? Because like how I would do it is I would make the solid part and then the street would be.
No, I don't give a shit. The hitboxes literally mean nothing. It's just you need to make sure that they line up with where the Y axis that you place, the position that you place the NPC on when you create it, and that is a variable that you can change.
Okay.
So all you have to do, there's a Y offset or something like that you can place.
We are in a little bit different positions.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, if you're looking at Chris's, it's behind stream, right?
No, but we were walking in sync for a while, and the syncs were different. Like we just kept walking.
Were they?
We're in
And
sync
the
right now.
difference
Are you in sync on mine? On yours? 'Cause
Actually, now it looks good on this one. On this walk through.
yeah, we're perfectly synced right now.
All right, let's do it again. Ready? 1, 2, 3, left.
Jesus, you
Sorry.
fucking threw me.
That's
a
gonna,
curveball
I mean,
there.
that's gonna have some issues too. Like Dave's voice is not coming on 1-to-1.
1, 2, 3, left.
That's pretty good.
I gotta wait 7 seconds to see on your screen.
But on your screen,
Yeah, that's about what.
I can't
I
remember
mean,
how.
Actually, you're the. Well, actually, I don't know. The
I am-
drawing is definitely different. Because you're behind the wall to me, Chris.
Oh well, that's we know that issue and we know how to solve it. Chris knows how to solve it. We just haven't put it in yet. That is a fix that will need to be solved, and it'll be solved by a Y value. I think that we will store in another list, and we're gonna have to draw. The game maker infuriates me with this. It literally draws people. It layers them in the order that it draws, like it hits their draw events. So why don't you give me a field I can edit that automatically changes the order that you address these things? It's so infuriating.
Is it really true that you can't just set the Y?
You can't do that anymore. It will work from the first time. I fucking hate Game Maker.
I can't remember
Player
why. I thought of a
discipline.
reason why they might do that today, but now I can't remember what I was thinking.
All I can say is they do it in Unity, but to be fair, Unity, I think even for its 2D, it just does it in a 3D engine and just only cares about the 2D aspects of it.
Right.
So I can still.
I have
set
noticed
the
that
Z
because
in
there's a
3D.
surprising thing that will happen with Game Jam games, where all of a sudden, like the 2D plane that is at the that the game is projecting on will just start spinning, so it looks like you're watching a TV spin. But so I can't remember whether I synced to the image sprites. Like on your screen, are you seeing the same? Like when we're walking in sync, is it the same frames of animation as on mine?
Well, let me see. It's hard. It'll be hard to tell.
I would not.
You'll have to turn. Well, I don't know.
Our distances look very, very good now. I don't think the sync is issue. I might have just been seeing you as me or something.
Oh well, I'm using controller, so if I'm not pressing all the way to the right, I can walk slower than you.
Okay.
I'll show you how slow I can walk. This is how slow I can walk.
It looks like you're fucking strutting.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm fucking
you can stand out of the way,
styling over here. I fucking hate the nice Xbox wired controllers. I have like the wired like Pro, and it constantly disconnects. Anyway,
I hope Jeff could emulate the style I have started. I always worry that our drawing styles will conflict and make the game look weird.
I mean, that'll be something that eventually gets ironed out in the long run, but yeah, it'll be interesting.
I mean, if you're really worried about it, just designate what each of you is going to work. Like, there's not really much UI in this game, so you can't really split it that way. But like, you know,
I feel bad also for being like, do the UI. I'll do the fun stuff.
no, but like you could do the, you know, the ninjas could just have a, when you're in ninja form, could just have a different look, and he could do the ninjas, you could do the NPCs, or like whatever, like how different could the fucking ninjas really be though if you make them look like ninjas? Like how different?
I'm just saying, like a mismatch of art styles will make the game look like flash gamey and cheap. Like the cohesion in that way, I think, goes a long way for.
Oh, something's going on with your sprite now, Christopher. You're walking backwards to me. You know what I think happened? Oh yeah, I don't know.
I'm walking backwards.
You were before. Go left. Yeah, now you're still walking backwards to me. Oh, yeah, we're distinct on your sprite walk. Something's going weird. You know what I think it is? Is I'm dragging it around and I'm pausing, so I'm probably not getting inputs.
Yeah, that is something I worried about. So actually, if I do that, if I'm,
So what does?
are you guys dropping inputs right now from each other? Because I'm dragging it around.
Right now, yeah, you guys are all just sliding around.
Yeah, so that's a thing. So there is a command.
So the way you program it, is it like literally you program the actions into the people? You don't just put their positions, send their positions, because that should fix itself if you're just sending positions, right?
So it's sending positions. So actually, our positions are synced. Like the jittery, where I am, and where my sprite is being drawn are two different things. So where are you on your screen right now, Dave?
I'm above the right hole. The right hole.
You guys are actually kind of synced again on mine. Maybe it did catch itself up, but
So it will only catch you up, actually, in the drawing. It should only catch. So, are you jumping right now, Dave?
Yeah, I'm jumping now.
Stop jumping. I guess it does catch it. It should catch up as
long as you're sending X and Y, it'll catch up when.
So it's always sending X and Y, always, but then it's drawing from an array of, to make it look smooth, it's drawing an array of saved positions whenever you're moving, and then when you stop, it should catch up. Like if it gets desync. But also there's a way that you can make it so that my big fear was that the server, someone, you know, that there would be no way GameMaker would like not allow you to like have the game run when the server was minimized or whatever, or being dragged around, and that would ruin anything. But I think there is a way to fix that. I just haven't ever looked into it, but we should figure that out quick, because other than forcing people to play in fucking full screen, there's no solution to that if there's no, you know, way to do it.
Force them to play in full screen like civilized adults.
Walk around a little bit more, Dave. I just want to see something. Just hold it and walk. So am I sliding right now?
I don't see you. All the NPCs stopped for a second, though.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, when
stopped again.
Chris.
Yeah, so when I grab my screen, the server stops functioning as the server, which is a fucking...
I see it when I look at the output. It literally says on the output pause event registered. So I wonder if we can override that somehow.
Is there a debug button that
I don't know.
shows stuff?
There's like a there's a thing. It's called like operating system. It's like it has the word operating system in it. The function that will like. Let me look it up. Game Maker. It's like OS type maybe. OS Windows.
Yeah, it probably is a project setting or something.
Yeah, it's like a. OS is paused, I think it is. When developing for mobile device, so this is what made me think this wouldn't fix it, but somebody else said this would fix it. It says when developing for mobile devices, you need a way to check if the device is still focused on your game or not, especially as if your game is iOS or Android, it can be interrupted by phone calls and other apps, blah blah blah. Use this function you can use this function to check if the device is paused or not. But it's something with the
I mean, that'll let you see if it's paused, but we just don't want to pause at all, right? We just want to remove pausing when you're dragging that screen around.
OS device, OS browser, OS lock orientation. No, it would be like.
That's phone screen. Man.
I don't know. I'll have to look in. We should try to figure that
Yeah.
out soon, though. That's because
It would be rare that actually happens. We can tell it to start in full screen, and most people won't change that.
we could just make it so that if it's happened, if the server's doing it, it pauses everyone.
Yeah, you could do that too, for sure.
Because at least we know how to check whether it's paused.
Yeah.
So.
What was I doing here? I need to look.
Alright, server down. I am worried though that there will be some desyncing because of the way I programmed the I did like an array of positions to draw.
We can find that. If that's an issue, we can find it and fix it. It's not that complicated now that I'm with two heads.
Like it may not even matter for I did that because I want for my other game I wanted it's a very movement heavy game and stuff there may be an easier way to do it because this game is such a slow paced thing where the jittering of you're always moving to this X position stuff doesn't really matter as much. Really, actually, what it needs to do is just check against where it's being drawn in the actual X position, and if there's too much lag, it needs to speed up the. It needs to skip a few steps or skip right to where the X is now. If it starts detecting lag, right? That would be my immediate instinct for how to do that.
Is there ever an instance where if you update to Git at the same time, or how does it handle if you're actually?
I think I'll split it right into two branches, Marcus.
And then just try to
If you're
resolve it
uploading
later.
at the same time, it would probably upload it as the first one in would get it, and then the next one in would probably get an update saying, "Hey, wait, there's actually this going on."
Well, I probably can't fuck anything up anyway. Just adding sprites.
Yeah, it'll just be adding sprites.
Uh-oh. Oh boy. Oh no. What has happened to my other game project? Oh boy. This is why I should never fucking update this piece of shit fucking software.
Yeah, Game Maker sucks. I hate it.
Okay, this is weird. Like, it didn't fuck it up, but for whatever reason, the seed it's generating for my dungeon is not quite different, but I'm starting in a different place. It is the same dungeon, though. Wait, is it the same dungeon? No, it's not. Okay, the seed is just different. This is not an old version. Okay. Whew, that scared the shit out of me.
How do I, So to update to the latest version, I just refetch the origin?
Yeah, right?
Runs good. That's all I have to do. No more to it than that.
Yeah, if you wanna make sure you're on the most recent version, you'll refetch the origin. Once I'm done figuring out what these issues are, I will upload and you can see what it's like.
Well, yeah, hold off. I was gonna add the sprites.
Give me a second. I'm close to being done. I'm just trying to figure out why I have the right index. But I don't know why.
Also, if you think your and Jeff's art styles are so different, Dave, like I could try putting just a little bit of pixelation on them with the camera thing and seeing if that, you know, smooths out things. Because honestly, if the camera's locked at far away, like most of the detail of what you're drawing is not really being appreciated anyway. Like the broad impression the game gives. But I mean, just talk about some middle ground art style that where you could both, you know, that you could both. I don't even know if you're here actually. I do have to go to bed, but tomorrow night I will go into Discord and just straight up work on the movement and elevators and hitboxes and stuff. Try to do an actual, you know, win state, death state. Oh, but so we do want to do elevators as an actual moving platform that moves the player up and down, is what Dave was saying, right?
Yeah, I've honestly, I think so. I wasn't paying full attention, but it sounds like he wants it to be an elevator to be its own room that you could still move around in and stuff.
It'll have to be a synced object then. So I was just gonna make it a thing you walked into and came out of on the other end.
Yeah, we'll make that stairwells and then elevators, like an elevator will be its own thing.
Look at these damn fireballs.
They look very cool.
Don't they look nice?
Yeah.
I stole them. That's why they look so good. But I gave them that little bounce. That's all me, baby.
You're squish and stretch.
I love it so much.
Oh,
And I got a ledge grab in here now too. Actually, most of the stuff isn't new. I just hadn't showed it to you guys before, but fireballs are new. I actually had some time. I did that. I did those fireballs. Let me. I don't want this on record. So let me mute my audio source in OBS.
oh. We're working from home. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Alright, I need to figure out what the fuck I did wrong here. I must have a second list somewhere and it doesn't make sense. Tapped into set.
My plan for the enemy for the fireballs is this, like, they just happen to get stuck down this well, but it's gonna be this fucking dude, this statue. up here in the way, they're gonna work. So he spits them out, 1, 2, 3, and then the whole thing is it's gonna be like hot potato. Like he spits them out, and then the first one always explodes. And so you have to like, you know, as they're bouncing around like this, you have to like keep
Grab
both
it,
dodge them and keep track of which one. Or maybe I'll make it so they all explode. They explode in the order they came out. So like
That makes sense.
so like
Then just have them have a timer on them.
yeah, and then yeah, they just get made and blow up. But like if you can, you know, they could blow up at any moment, and the radius will be relatively big. So like you'll have to like keep track of it. You'll have to simultaneously dodge them and like keep track of which one came out first, because that's the first one that's gonna blow.
Yeah.
I also solved for, like, I was like, okay, the biggest task of this game is going to be making sure that every dungeon is solvable, but I found a cheaty way to do it by expanding the scope of the game, where it'll be like, you're going into a randomly generated dungeon, and yes, sometimes it's not immediately solvable if you don't have the right item or whatever, but then I expanded the scope of the game to be like, there's going to be an overworld map with like 3 dungeons and then random encounters that'll be very simple, small, randomly generated things. But from the random encounters, you can get one-time consumable things, and you could like farm them basically. So like if there was a pit that was impassable, and you hadn't like, you know, and there was no enemies in the dungeon that would allow you to get a rope or something, you could go out and like go into a bat cave, you know, and these things would refresh every once in a while. Go into a bat cave and farm like a bunch of bat wings that give you like a one-time fly up a hallway thing. So there you can always farm items that will allow you to skip. Yeah.
Procedural generation.
Yeah. Save me from having to figure out the very hard question of how to procedurally generate a Metroidvania. I was really hoping too that I would just be able to steal whatever code you did for the NPCs for the enemies, but it's actually going to be more complex than that, because I'm going to have 2 types of enemies. One that is locked to a room and deactivates whenever you're not near it, and another type that can actually move around the map. But like,
yeah. I mean, the code, this is very specific.
Yeah.
And AI code is very specific to this type of movement,
yeah,
or this type of
so
game.
you did a very fit for purpose thing, so
Yeah,
it's
very much made for, exactly for this, so that it should hopefully have the least impact on network and server load as possible.
Yes. Here's what I need to do.
What the fuck did I do?
Don't give Pup any milk bones.
Any milk bones?
Yeah, I just read that they could cause tumors in dogs.
What?
Yeah, because they have something called BHA in it, which is a carcinogen. So him eating them regularly, I guess, could eventually cause him to get tumors.
No more milk bones for the puppy.
No, I just want that big ass box from BJ's. And the wall.
What is that, a news story you
Like-
read?
Yeah.
Huh.
You can double check it if you want, but.
No, I trust you.
Now I'm gonna go through all these dogs' treats and see if they have any in it. Apparently, it's a common preservative for animal stuff, which doesn't have as high standards for obviously people's dogs.
Yeah. That's dumb.
Yeah. And I'm conflicted. Do I throw the whole box in a landfill, or do I give it to a animal shelter, knowing it could
That
give
they,
other dogs tumors, but they're probably getting shit anyway, and also animal shelters need food to give dogs.
I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing also.
That's fair. I just wanted to tell you that.
Sounds good.
What are you trying to do right now?
It's, I don't know, it's something, I must have a fucking another list out here that I accidentally made, like a duplicate list. I'm trying to figure out why I'm not updating this NPC when he gets on the bus. He's not updating his behavior properly. I'm updating something, I just don't know what the fuck I'm updating, and it looks like the goddamn variables are the same. I just need some time to focus. Honestly, I've been trying to do this code while interacting too much, and that's no way to program. I just need like some time to sit down and really look at it without being distracted.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to bed, so. But I'll be hanging out in Discord this weekend to work on Stealth Kill City.
Sounds good.
Stream.
I am gonna jump out of Discord so I can focus.